So Nancy Pelosi, everybody, is finally taking action for the people, and there are now several plans to allocate billions of dollars towards a fourth round of stimulus payments for everybody that needs it. Here is the most important stimulus check and social security news that I want you guys to know. Make sure you continue watching this video. You don't want to miss out on this. Pelosi has just told the Biden administration to seek tens of billions of dollars more in emergency crisis relief. She has suggested that it would take more than $40 billion to meet the needs of the people in the larger global community. Now, Joe Biden has asked Congress for $22.5 billion in new funding to fight the ongoing crisis. But folks, that figure was whittled down to just $15.6 billion in the face of Republican opposition, all on Capitol Hill. And earlier today, Pelosi said that even a larger $22.5 billion figure was too small, arguing that it provided relief to only the small part of people. Pelosi told reporters that, "I think they should be double what they asked for, because even when they were asking for $20-some billion, it was only going to get us to June." So do you guys agree with Nancy Pelosi and her belief for more stimulus checks? And most importantly, do you think that Nancy Pelosi will send out more stimulus checks along with President Biden this year? Tell me what you think, folks, in the comments down below. Now, the comments came shortly after Pelosi and the Democratic leaders met together in the Capitol with Biden administration top officials. Now, in seeking $22.5 billion for the crisis relief earlier this month, the Biden administration had said that it would cover the immediate needs of the crisis response over the next few months. This request also proposed that a large bulk of the funding, $4.25 billion exactly, would provide help abroad the State Department and the U.S. Agency for International Development. But Republicans, everybody, have balked at the figure, saying it was both too high and needs to be paid for by spending cuts elsewhere in the budget. And bipartisan negotiators have come to an agreement on the $15.6 billion figure. During an interview today, the Transportation Secretary says that inflation should moderate once supply chains get back to normal. And when asked about the current levels of inflation, the Transportation Secretary told Yahoo News, "I don't think anything is permanent, but I think it's clear that this is a serious economic issue." So the president has been focused on the prices and the effect on Americans for some time. This week, the Biden administration unveiled a new program designed to tackle inflation by improving data visibility in supply chains. The initiative is led by the Transportation Secretary and the National Economic Council. It's called the Freight Logistics Optimization Works. Now, this data sharing initiative focuses on ensuring companies have insight into what and how cargo is being moved around the supply chain. They're also confident that the program will help alleviate pressing pressures over time. And everybody in the state of New York, there's some good news for you. More than $64 million in federal funding will be used to provide one-time payments to struggling New Yorkers, including those with children or living in a multi-generational household, to help with their expenses amid the ongoing crisis. The state governor announced that one-time payments are earmarked to help with the cost of diapers for struggling families, food expenses for households with both children and older adults, and providing housing assistance. The governor told reporters the crisis has laid bare these inequalities that exist across our society, leaving vulnerable New Yorkers who are already struggling even further behind. The critical funding will help tens of thousands of families pay for food and diapers. So I think it's a great idea, folks, that some states are sending out their own state stimulus payments. But will your state do the same? Tell me in the comments down below. Checks.
For the whole month. So he said in the last few days of the month, the three of them sit in the same room so they can decide who needs the insulin that's left the most.
This is
now,
awful.
This is in America. This is wrong, and especially on insulin. Insulin's been around for over 100 years. It should be available.
Guys, for the recovery credit, then know this. You can claim the dependent when they file the 2021 tax return this year. Unlike the first two rounds of payments, which limited dependent eligibility to just children, the third stimulus check made accommodations for dependents of all ages. So a person who adds a parent or grandparent or another eligible dependent to their household could be eligible for a $1,400 payment, folks. Just remember that. And if a person didn't add a dependent to their family in 2021, then they may be able to claim some of the money via the recovery credit on their 2021 tax return. Anyone who thinks they may be eligible for more money than they received should pay close attention when filing the taxes this year, as it will be the last chance to receive the funds. I believe that President Biden must do something about the stimulus checks, and he should do a better job in sending them out. And if you guys agree with me, then tell me in the comments down below and say I agree. Folks, we got some breaking news about the fourth stimulus check, and of course, Social Security news in this video. So you want to continue watching this video to find out the latest stimulus news. Everybody, it's official. Up to $4,000 in new stimulus money is going to be given out to people who are qualified for the stimulus payments. Remember, if you qualify for this, you could be getting $4 grand. So here's some good news. The government has announced that millions of dollars are available to help people who missed out on receiving any federal stimulus checks in 2021. The one-time payment is part of the excluded New Jerseyans Fund. New Jersey's governor set aside $40 million in federal money to be used to help families who did not qualify for the economic stimulus checks that the federal government sent out last year. The money will especially be helpful to workers in the state of New Jersey. Many were essential workers like janitors and kitchen staff who lost jobs during lockdown. And everybody, according to state officials, a one-time direct cash benefit. This means a household can receive $4,000. It's pretty much something that everybody wants to see. More stimulus payments going to those in need. Who exactly is eligible to receive this additional relief? Well, you do have to take action to claim this extra stimulus money. The application deadline has been extended from last year. However, applications may close sooner if funds are exhausted before the deadline.
I just want to say something about energy independence. I had dinner last week with the EU ambassador and with some of the ambassadors from European Union countries. And I'll tell you that nobody in Europe is talking about this as a moment to reinvest in more drilling. Nobody. Nobody is talking about it that way. Only in the United States do we hear that conversation come up. The reality is that these oil companies ratcheted down supply during COVID. The price actually dropped of oil, but you didn't see the gas prices at the pump go down. You didn't see that. And now, these same oil companies that are asking for more drilling have actually not ratcheted up their supply yet. They still haven't ratcheted up what they ratcheted down during COVID because it's very profitable for them to keep the price high. And so what we have now introduced, a number of different bills, and the Progressive Caucus has been leading on this, to stop the profiteering of oil companies right now. Is to put a tax on excess profits and then to distribute that back to consumers, because we know that people are having a hard time with the increased prices, and that has been a real challenge for people. But there is a way that we can stop oil companies from profiteering. And also, there are 2 committees in Congress that will be calling these CEOs of oil companies in for hearings, and so we'll get to question them about that as well.